The filming of this virtual commencement ceremony adheres to all health and safety protocols and regulations set forth by the CDC and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
Graduates, we are very proud to be here to celebrate this momentous occasion that is your commencement. Our plans to commemorate your accomplishment in person this year in Daytona Beach, Florida, Pensacola, Florida, Frankfurt, Germany, San Diego, California, Seattle, Washington, Dallas, Texas, Washington, D.C., and Okinawa, Japan, were sadly disrupted by the devastating effects of COVID-19. I share my deepest sympathy and the thoughts of the worldwide faculty and staff for the loss of this milestone. This unprecedented time in our world has certainly taken the toll on our ability to partake in something that is innately human, to be together. However, this experience has also provided opportunities for us to explore other ways to gather. Whether joining a Zoom call, sending a letter, or talking on the phone, we have proven that nothing can break our desire or our ability to connect. As Embry-Riddle graduates, you are all masters of connection. Your hard work, determination, and commitment to completing your degree was not accomplished by attending classes together in a single location. You worked from your home offices, living rooms, and kitchen tables. You worked from military bases, deployment, and from aircraft carriers. You connected, and you succeeded. Although we cannot physically be together today to celebrate you, know that we are extremely proud of your accomplishment. Your faculty and advisors who have guided you over the years to this achievement are celebrating you. The entire staff of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University are celebrating you. Your friends and family who have supported your journey are celebrating you. It is my sincere hope that you look back on your time at Embry-Riddle with pride. Although this is the end of an academic journey, it is the beginning of the next chapter in your lives. I hope that you enjoy this virtual commencement ceremony today, and when we are able to connect in person again, without restriction or hesitation, I invite each of you and your families to attend and take part in any future live commencement ceremony that we hold across the globe. You are forever an Eagle.
Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of colors by the ROTC program Joint Color Guard from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and the singing of the national anthem performed by the Embry-Riddle Acapellas. For those members in our audience who are active duty, Guard, Reserve, veterans, and their families, we thank you for your sacrifice.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please welcome ERAU Reverend David Keck, who will offer the invocation.
Hi, I'm David Keck, chaplain at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and I have the honor today of offering the invocation here at the beginning of the service and the benediction at the end of the service. I'm honored because I'm proud of what you've achieved. In both of these, we'll focus on a distinctive emotion, one that I think you may be feeling. At the end of the invocation, I'll say, "Let all God's children say," and that's a way of inviting you to participate in the final Amen. One of the great things about Embry-Riddle is that we welcome people from all over. We work with people from all over. So many different traditions, religions, and backgrounds are represented. And so when I say, "Let all God's children say," that's the way I think of us. We're all children of the Almighty, and we're all here together. I hope you can find yourself and your experiences in this morning's invocation. Let us give thanks. Thank you, dear God. This is a day which you have made. We rejoice and are glad in it. We thank you for the friends who provided words of encouragement. We thank you for family members who've struggled, who've sacrificed, who've helped, done so much to make it possible for our graduates today. We thank you for the faculty, the staff, those who've provided guidance, insight, taught classes, been a place to turn to with questions. We thank you above all for the graduates. We thank you for their hard work, their dedication, their perseverance. We ask you to continue to bless them. And may this be a service that they will remember. And when they think back upon it, we ask that you give them joy and give them strength, a reminder of their achievement, reminded that they can do anything. And let all God's children say, Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. P. Barry Butler, President of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
I'm sure this day sometimes felt like it was a long time coming. Today is a celebration for you and your families as well. I am pleased to say congratulations and well done. No one is here by accident. No one just wanders into Embry-Riddle. You earned your way in and you earned your way out by making a series of tough decisions and delivering on commitments. And that says something about who you are. You have discipline. You have resilience. You have built a support system of friends and family. You have been that support system for others. You have added to how you define yourself professionally and personally. Whether you are an engineer or a scientist, a specialist, or an entrepreneur, you all leave here with a marketable body of knowledge. If you keep building on your knowledge, it will keep rewarding you for a lifetime. You learned how to take in information and make it stick. You learned how to connect the dots, and maybe connect dots that other people can't even see. Or maybe they don't see them yet, but they will one day because of you. You learned how to solve complex problems, not just according to a textbook, but to your satisfaction. You've come to recognize your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you've even moved some traits and capabilities from one category to the other. It is worth knowing what you do well, and there's nothing shameful in recognizing what you don't do well. No matter where you're going from here, you will be asked to contribute. You will be asked to collaborate. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses will help you know when it's best to speak up and when it's smarter to listen and learn from others on your team. Working toward your degree was an opportunity to explore what you value, who you are, and who you want to be. The answers to these questions create a life. One day, there will be a crowdsourced Wikipedia page about you. But for now, you are the sole expert on yourself. Keep developing that insight and self-awareness. For incoming students, one of the biggest fears is choosing the wrong course of study. Maybe you have changed your focus as you pursued your education. That's not uncommon. That, quote, what to choose, fear, is followed closely by fears about being able to succeed academically. The good news is that you put these fears behind you. You found a discipline that grabbed your interest, you stuck with it, and you ticked off all the boxes. Today, we acknowledge that sustained achievement. Your commitment to completing this degree has impacted and encouraged those who have supported you on your journey. You have set the example that determination and hard work results in success and goal achievement. You have inspired your family, your friends, and your colleagues through your tenacity, demonstrating that once you can see firsthand that something is possible, it becomes a lot more probable. You represent possibility to the people around you. Today, you join the ranks, becoming part of a distinguished group of professionals, leaders, and doers. Today, you become Embry-Riddle alumni, sharing experiences, knowledge, and a common desire to make an impact on the aviation and aerospace industry. In fact, there isn't an airline or aerospace company or government agency or branch of the military that doesn't employ Embry-Riddle graduates. It's your turn to be inspirational figure. Your Embry-Riddle education is a reliable GPS. Will it prevent you from never taking an unexpected detour or getting lost? No. But when you do, just listen to the voice that says recalculating, and you can find resolution to anything. You have a guidance system in your head that you can trust now. It is made up of your education in the broadest sense. What you learned in courses and labs from faculty, from each other, and about yourself. You are ready. You've got this. You are eagles, we soar together. Congratulations.
Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. Lon Muller.
On our campus in Daytona Beach, we have a statue commemorating the Wright brothers' December 17, 1903 motorized flight at Kitty Hawk in North Carolina. I learned a lot about that first flight after reading historian David McCullough's book about the Wright brothers and came to appreciate both Wright brothers, but particularly Wilbur Wright. Wilbur Wright was a remarkable person. Despite having never graduated from college or high school, Wright, working with his brother Orville, his sister Catherine, his friend Charlie Taylor, and others, did something people in his time thought to be impossible. Not only building a flying machine, but also demonstrating that man could fly. When asked about the significant challenges of manned flight, Wilbur Wright was known to have said, "No bird ever soared in a calm," meaning that strong and sometimes unpredictable winds can help a bird fly to unimaginable heights. I've recently thought a lot about Wright's comment, "No bird ever soared in a calm," when thinking about the work that each of you have done and the challenges each of you have met. This has not been an easy journey for you, particularly in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. Your educational journey has, however, been a successful one and has resulted in something very special, a degree from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. During your time at the university, you've shown grit, perseverance, and resilience. You've adapted to new and challenging times. These qualities will serve you well as you manage the expectations of demanding careers. Our faculty, staff, and administration are confident that you are ready for whatever comes next. I say that not because we know what the next months or years will throw at you, but because we recognize who you are. You are eagles. Today, you are fully fledged eagles. You do not hear that expression much, but the word fledged comes from the Old English meaning fit to fly. That is you. You're fit to fly and ready to soar. Congratulations, graduates.
Dr. John R. Wattret, Chancellor of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Worldwide Campus.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. It is my distinct honor to welcome you to the 2020 commencement and our first ever completely virtual ceremony. This platform is an excellent reminder that Embry-Riddle is truly worldwide and our connections to each other span the globe. Today we are celebrating graduates who are joining us from places all over, including Japan, Singapore, Germany, UK, Italy, Spain, Brazil, Hawaii, California, and even here at our worldwide campus headquarters in Daytona Beach, Florida. It is a wonderful day to celebrate each of you and your accomplishment in earning an Embry-Riddle degree. It is also my great pleasure to welcome the family and friends of our graduates who have encouraged and supported their academic journey and who are, no doubt, excited to be celebrating this momentous achievement. In addition to family and friends, our Embry-Riddle faculty and many of our staff are joining today. The pride and joy they are feeling for you is a result of the great strides you took as students to work hard, persist through your courses, and achieve this significant goal in becoming an Embry-Riddle graduate. I sincerely hope that everyone enjoys this ceremony and savors the meaning of this day. I am honored to introduce our guest speaker for today's ceremony. Ms. Regina Spellman is the Senior Project Manager in the Exploration Ground Systems Program at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. In this role, she is responsible for all design, development, fabrication, and construction for Launch Pad 39B, as well as modifications to the mobile launcher to ready it for crew flights. Spellman has more than 30 years of experience at NASA, beginning as a structural analyst at the agency's Langley Research Center in Virginia. As a senior structural analyst, she specialized in structural dynamics and composites for multiple NASA spacecraft and experimental aircraft, including the X-43C project and the Blended Wing Body Low Speed Vehicle BWB-LSV projects. She started her career at Kennedy in 2005 and has been with the Exploration Ground Systems since 2006. Under the Constellation program, Spellman was the project integrator for Launchpad 39B. She also served as the Deputy Senior Project Manager for Pad B and the Deputy Senior Project Manager for the mobile launcher. Spellman earned a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from Purdue University, a Master of Engineering from the University of Virginia, and a Master of Science in Space Systems from the Florida Institute of Technology. She was twice awarded the NASA Silver Snoopy and is a NASA Exceptional Achievement Medal and NASA Exceptional Engineering Achievement Medal recipient. Spellman lives in Rockledge, Florida with her husband and son. At NASA Kennedy Space Center, we welcome our honored guest speaker, Ms. Regina Spellman.
Thank you, Chancellor Watrett. I am so honored to be sharing this time with all of you, the graduating class of 2020, your families, your friends, and all the distinguished guests. In a year where far too many of us have felt isolation and difficulties like never before, this day is truly a day to celebrate. You have persevered, and there are exciting times ahead. Here at Kennedy Space Center, we have also undergone our own challenges this past year. And like you, we have remained focused on the goals ahead of us, adapted to a new way of doing business, and carried on. That's just the NASA way. When I think about the history of Launchpad 39B, where I work every day, and the more than 50 years of supporting the Apollo and the shuttle program in its history, it's difficult to imagine all of the challenges that they were able to overcome and go on to great successes. When I am out at the launch pad, taking in all of the historical significance of where I am, I feel humbled by their ability to overcome obstacles and their foresight to move forward. When I think about how we have been passed the baton to carry on the legacy and what we are doing to ready her for the next major program, I'm often reminded of a very famous quote, author unknown. Best way to predict the future is to create it. Today, NASA is creating the future of human spaceflight through the Artemis program. Artemis will land the first woman and the next man on the moon by 2024 and continue to explore more of the lunar surface than ever before. With our international and commercial partners, we will establish a sustainable human presence on and around the moon. Then we will use what we learn to take the next giant leap, sending astronauts to Mars in the 2030s. We are currently preparing for Artemis 1, which will be the first integrated test of NASA's deep space exploration systems, the Orion spacecraft, the Space Launch System rocket, and the Exploration Ground Systems here at KSC. While Orion and SLS are undergoing their last testing before beginning flight processing, we are at the same time readying our ground systems. We are nearing the end of a decades-long development phase in which we have transformed the historical facilities at KSC into a premier spaceport in preparation for Artemis. In my role as a senior project manager for the launch pad, I have witnessed a complete renovation of Pad 39B. Elsewhere at KSC, we have done other major construction in the iconic vehicle assembly building to prepare it to stack the SLS and Orion. A new mobile launcher has been erected and outfitted with all the systems necessary to support the launch vehicle. We have created a new control system and readied the firing room and so many other jobs. The team has been preparing for launch day for performing dress rehearsals of critical operations. We have been testing all of our systems and have just recently moved in to the processing phase for Artemis 1 with the arrival of flight hardware. While we focus on the moon and beyond, other great things are in store for 2021. Under the Commercial Crew Program, we just celebrated SpaceX's launch of the Crew 1 mission to the International Space Station. This is the first crew rotation flight to the ISS on a U.S. commercial spacecraft launched from U.S. soil. Seeing the crew launch aboard SpaceX's Resilience capsule at our sister pad, Pad 39A, was such an exciting day and the start of a new way of doing business. Our other commercial partner, Boeing, will undergo an uncrewed orbital test flight of the CST-100 Starliner later this year, with their first crewed mission planned for next summer. Through programs like Artemis and Commercial Crew, we are truly creating the future of space exploration and the role it plays in our daily lives by opening access to space to more people, more science, and more commercial opportunities. This future that we are creating is not just for the engineer and scientists. It's expanding every day to include areas of business, marketing, medicine, manufacturing, tourism, art. For our future generations, there is no limit. It will be what we create. Today, we are simply developing the tools. We are putting the infrastructure in place. It will be up to you, your fellow graduates, your fellow coworkers, to begin creating this future of where and how it takes us. We will be handing it over to you to continue to create this future of human exploration. When these technologies, the launch capabilities, the ability to send humans to Mars and beyond, when these things are part of our everyday lives, when they are readily accessible to many, how will they be used? How will they be used to help humanity? I know what I set forth before you may seem to some like a daunting task. Well, that brings me to my words of advice to you. As you continue your own journey, I share with you a handful of the most valuable lessons I have learned along my own journey. First of all, always remember, people are human. We make mistakes. Being part of an agency that is associated with the phrase, failure is not an option, this is not always easy for people to admit. But we have to admit our mistakes and recognize them, but then put our focus on correcting them and learning from them. Second, you're not in it alone. No one is an island. The more complicated the task, the bigger the team effort. One thing we have all witnessed this year is how connected we all are. When you're at work, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You can learn from each other. Someone may have been through something very similar or even have fresh ideas that you hadn't thought of. Next, be your authentic self. Always. You don't need to fit a stereotype. It is okay to be your true, authentic self. I never matched the stereotypical engineer in school, and I certainly didn't when I went to work. And that always felt like a disconnect for me. When I was able to show more of the authentic me, it made me better, and it also helped me relate better to my team. Diversity and inclusion are not just buzzwords. The broader your team is, the bigger your ideas can be. Next, keep learning and improving. Things change quickly, and what you learn in school is only a small part of what you will use in your career. A previous supervisor taught me early in my career to make it a point to continue to learn new tools, new techniques. Try to learn something new with every new assignment. Never stop learning. And finally, when you put your name on something, it should mean something. Early in my career, I had the privilege to work with a chief engineer. He had to sign off on every analysis report that I did, and it was so difficult to get him to get that signature. And when I asked him about it, he just smiled and said, "Well, it's my name, and that should mean something. To this day, if my name is on it, you know I stand behind it. It means something, and so should yours." I hope these lessons serve you well as you go forward in your career. I wish you the best of luck as you go out to begin creating and shaping the future that lies ahead. The challenges ahead will be hard, but they will also be extremely rewarding. This graduating class has already made history due to the unprecedented conditions of the past year and challenges they overcame. But this graduating class will continue to make history through their accomplishments and paving the way for whatever the future might hold. My sincerest congratulations to each and every one of you, the graduates of the class of 2020. Be proud of your accomplishments this day. You have earned that. And also be sure to thank those that helped you get to this day, be it your parents, your loved ones, your friends, your mentors. They have also been part of your journey. And more than likely, many of them will be there to support you through your next journey as you go out and begin creating your future.
Regina, thank you for your thoughtful words, challenging vision, and sound advice for our graduates, and for us all.
The value of achievement lies in the achieving. Albert Einstein. Your tenacity and commitment to completing your degree have brought you all to this moment today. Congratulations to all of you. And now?
What a great day today is. Let's start off by saying welcome. Welcome to those family and friends that are able to join us today in this virtual graduation ceremony, but especially welcome to the graduates themselves, and congratulations. Most importantly, it is my honor to welcome you as graduates to the club, to the team, to the network of those 65,000 plus fellow graduates from the Worldwide College of Aeronautics. What does that mean? That means you're joining a pretty distinguished group of folks. This group includes 4 astronauts, it includes Air Force One pilots, it includes aviation heroes such as Michael Durant, and countless other aviation aerospace professionals keeping our industry safe and innovative. You and the other distinguished graduates of the College of Aeronautics tend to have a few things in common, in my opinion. You've discovered your recipe for success. Of course, these vary individual by individual, but in my experience, these recipes tend to have a few things in common. And these 3 things that I consider are in common are aptitude, attitude, and opportunity. When these 3 things come together, when these stars align, most will find some level of success. Let's start with aptitude. How have you prepared yourself for success? I think today is a clear indicator of you taking the time to prepare yourself for your future. A major step today with degree completion. This is a big step in the aptitude area. Let's think about attitude for a second, and many will argue this is the most important, and I would agree. How could you have gotten through all of those courses, working nights, weekends, if you did not have that never quit attitude? And that attitude translates very well to our industry that we support. And if you've got the right attitude, you've got a good aptitude or good solid background there, opportunity will come your way. And the more opportunity comes your way, the more opportunity or more chances you're going to have to discover success. As you find success, I want you to remember how remarkable this industry is that we support, how complex, how life-changing, how, as we've experienced over the last year, sometimes even fragile the industry is, and how it needs each of you to contribute to its future. From commercial aviation to manufacturing to airports, dispatch, maintenance, repair, and overhaul, to the great aviation work our DoD teams accomplishes, to the significant steps NASA and our commercial space companies are making every day. We need you. As we take time today to ponder, consider this exciting aviation and aerospace future. Dr. Butler and Dr. Wattret, it is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Aeronautics degrees as recommended by the faculty.
Catherine Allen, with distinction. Enrique Bibian Covarrubias, with distinction. Edwin Hendrik Branderhorst, with distinction. Timothy Michael Clark, Daniel Lee Coral, Bradley Stephen Henson, Aaron A. Jerome,
Brandon Lee Nichols, with distinction. Corey Stanton Pierce. Yoeli Ramirez Gomez. Shobralan Zachariah Scott Reed. Kenneth Quinn Riley. John Eugene Merrill Turner.
Scott Brown, Robert Christopher Call, Freddie Lloyd Clark Jr., with distinction. Patrick Harold Clinton, with distinction. Darrell Martin Collins, Joseph Michael Daniele IV, Cynthia M. Farrell, Torloff Lamar Finley,
Michael Rydell, with distinction. Jedi Manansala Ruiz, with distinction. Christopher Daniel Shutt. Rendinald D. Tan.
Tyron Jones, with distinction. Lydia Nicole Lay,
Holly Ann Stafford.
Samer Ali Abdallah, with distinction. Abayome Ifeolua Adeni, Andrew John Arendt, with distinction. Amir Asan, Dominique J. Alexis, with distinction. Richard A. Allen, Ryan Daniel Anderson, with distinction. Grayson F. Angus, Robert J. Antonucci, Kwame Nkosi Anyika, with distinction. Mohammed Harun Acha, Benjamin Edward Miguel Ayala, with distinction. Benjamin A. Bailey, Israel Dwayne Bailey, Deanne Barnes, with distinction. Kevin Michael Bennett, William Bettinelli Romualdo, Carmen Lydia Bocio Agramonte, Jorge Bolanos, Ryan F. Bousquet, with distinction. Aaron Michael Branch, with distinction. Deandre Branch, Michael Moy Brewer, with distinction. Jacob Robert Broderson, Eric Michael Cato Brown, Candida Linda Bursaw, with distinction. Christopher Kurt Calderon, Veronica Ashley Calhoun, Heather V. Capco, Joshua Robert Carlson, with distinction. João Carlos Carneiro, Christopher Cartwright, David Anthony Casanova, with distinction. Michiel James Sebe. Daniel Senicola, with distinction. Drew E. Chapman. Christopher J. Childers. Chung Ho Chow, with distinction. Ryan Cobb. Lonnie D. Cochran. Casey Coleman. Stephen Michael Copley, with distinction. Timothy P. Cox. Robert Earl Craig, with distinction. Elkin Dario Cuevas Parada. Amy E. Cherniowski, with distinction. John Adam Daniels. Thatcher David. William Martin DeAngel. Anthony Joseph DeFurio, with distinction. Christopher Michael De Jesus, with distinction. Elena Marie Dent, with distinction. Lisa M. DiSabatino, with distinction. Stuart Doyle. Sherry S. Dreerup. Robert Allen Driscoll IV, with distinction. DeAndre Christopher Doolin, with distinction. Koi Din Duong. Ryan A. Edens, with distinction. Nicholas Gregory Hernandez, with distinction. Timothy Everhard Jr. Muath Mohammed Q. Fadl, with distinction. Kai Falbush. Christopher William Gallagher. Vipul Deepak Gandhi. Abu Bakr Jibrin Garba. Menrid Azmi Garci. Andrew Mark Garrett. Gregor Gaspar, with distinction. Alessio Miguel Gaton. Sarah Lynn Galt. Christopher T. Gerber, with distinction. Adrian Daniel Gonzalez, with distinction. Richard Gonzalez. Adam Braxton Granick, with distinction. Jonathan R. Green. William Leonard Green. Jared Kyle Green, with distinction. Michael William Griffin, with distinction. Daniel Herring Groling, with distinction. Thomas A. Haynes. Olivia Yvonne Hawkins, with distinction. Kirkpatrick Michael Haynes. Juan Christopher Haney. Chiemi Heil. Jesse Joseph Herbalick. Kenneth Bryce Higginbotham, with distinction. Michael Wayne Hilton, with distinction. Michael J. Hoffman, with distinction. Joshua Nathaniel Hammer, with distinction. Jared Howell. Sue Kit Hui. Steve Hunley Sr., with distinction. Tyrone Gregory Hunt. Jeffrey Hunter. Cody William Itzel. Kimberly Ann Jackson, with distinction. Paul Henry Jackson. Stacy Lynn Paquette Jackson, with distinction. Velid Jasarevich. Victor G. Jimenez. Aldrian C. Johnson. Terrence Armand Johnson, with distinction. Chandrasekhar P. Joyce, with distinction. Philip D. Jones. Edward Joseph Jocelyn. Tiffany Kahapea. En-Chi Kong, with distinction. Sapir Kaufman. Joshua Allen Curley. Andriy Komenko, with distinction. Ashlyn H.P. King. Ethan Scott Clapper, with distinction. Kristen Cobb Klaus. Andreas Gunther Joseph Klein, with distinction. Stephen Paul Cole. Douglas Gordon Cron. Matthew William Credo. Henry M. Krukowski Jr., with distinction. Michael Anthony Krasinski, with distinction. Haridharan Kunasingham. Cherie Ann Kurian, with distinction. Kyle Joseph Ladwig, with distinction. Eric Anthony Larson, with distinction. Adeniyi Jamiu Lasisi. Lauren Gayton Lauder. Richard Lechuga. Yang Lung Lee, with distinction. William M. Legrand. Spencer Douglas Leonard. Brooke Elizabeth Lewis. Jesus A. Lopez Vasquez, with distinction. John William Love, with distinction.
Kyle Robert Mahoney, with distinction. Michael Marlowe, with distinction. Joe R. Martin, with distinction. Dominic James Masuda, with distinction. Matthew Damon Matter, with distinction. Richard Corey McBride. Butch Andrew McCarty. Daniel Edward McCarty, with distinction. Justin Lavaris McClinton. Matthew Allen McGehee. Adam Matthew McLaughlin, with distinction. Heather McNevin, with distinction. Michael R. Meek, with distinction. Marco Mailing, with distinction. Stephen Mena. Kevin B. Mendelsohn, Anna Marie Middleton, with distinction. Margaret Mikosh, Neil Edward James Mozon, Raylyn Marie Morgan, with distinction. Michelle Lynn Morse, Teha Namkung, Nicholas George Novak, Raymond Onyema Nwogu, Megan O'Connor, with distinction. Robert L. Ortiz Camacho, Andrew J. Orton, Mary Anna Owens, Brett Richard Paula, with distinction. Rijen Patel, with distinction. Minal Jagdish Patel, with distinction. Jeffrey Michael Pecora, Aaron Piercy, with distinction. James R. Pepe, with distinction. Matthew George Perry, with distinction. Joseph Ivor Peters, with distinction. Charles A. Pfeiffer, Jesse Phillips, Joseph Stephen Phillips, with distinction. Brian Christopher Pillars, Courtney Pope, with distinction. John F. Potsuff, Cesar Prado III, with distinction. Shay Anthony Quinn, with distinction. Alan Gabriel Ramos, Benjamin Rispoli, with distinction. Andrew M. Robinson, Gabriel Luis Rodriguez, with distinction. Cesar Elias Rodriguez Jr., with distinction. Paul Dolan Roshanda Ronco, with distinction. Eric Ruth, with distinction. Jose Manuel Salazar Quezada, Hector Ivan Sanchez Rodriguez, Daniel L. Schoner, Alicia Lee Schoonmaker, with distinction. Jennifer Ashley Schrader, Matthew Schroff, Becky Leanna Inez Schultz, Jason L. Schwartz, Devin M. Scott, with distinction. Wade Matthew Scribner, with distinction. Travis Jacob Saleh, with distinction. David Matthew Shanahan, with distinction. Richard Walter Schellest, with distinction. Matthew Thomas Shull, Fabio Mazzocchi Silveira, with distinction. Sean Michael Skorlich, with distinction. Christina Joy Smith, with distinction. Luke McCluskey Smith, with distinction. Troy H. Smith, with distinction. Alexander John Solis, Michael Lee Sutherland, with distinction. Jessica Nicole Strauss, Tyler C. Strite, with distinction. Diana Swiu, with distinction. Sonal Ravindra Survey, with distinction. Robert Elton Swain III, with distinction. Peter William Zaransky. Nikolai Thaddeus Zlufik. Teonte Coetti, with distinction. Martin Patricio Terneas Recalde. Robert Louis Thompson III, with distinction. Linda M. Jarks. Xiao Yi Jeffrey Tang, with distinction. Dalton Nicholas Tomlinson, with distinction. John A. Torrealba. Michael Traylor. Joseph M. Tucker, with distinction. Garrett John Twist. Henry Joseph Vascones. Justin Vernon, with distinction. Giancarlo Villafana, with distinction. Brendan M. Villegas, with distinction. Colby Robert Vine, with distinction. Dharmak D. Vora. Hien Trung Vu. Chen Yu Wang. Andrew D. Webb. Tyler Daniel Weisinger, with distinction. James Fitzgerald White, with distinction. Brandon Whitehour, with distinction. John J. Williams. Stephen Scott Williams, with distinction. Andre Anthony Wint. Channing DeWitt Wright. Felix O. Wyatt. Yushin Xia, with distinction. Frederick Anthony Yepes, with distinction. Paula Yunan. Jacqueline Zigante, with distinction.
Ruzbeh Chavoshian, with distinction. Stephen Michael Cooper. Jake Alexander Barson, with distinction. Chasen Congreaves. Christian Reyes Esoy, with distinction. Keith Roy Fix.
Adam Miller, with distinction. So Chung Zoe Eng, with distinction.
Kenneth Robert Johnson, with distinction. Monique Lard.
Eric E. May. Duo Shang.
Shane Vincent Alcock. Emily R. Apollonio. Angela Lynn Atwell, with distinction. Maxwell Markson Breeden, with distinction. Allison Elizabeth Carr, with distinction. Amy Michelle Collier, with distinction. Michael Sean Conrad. Sarah Jane Dietrich, with distinction. Casey Dixon. Jonathan Adam Hirsch, Shannon E. Hunt, with distinction. Eric Allen James, Keith H. Johnson, Lauren Brittany Jurek, Norman Kenneth Kemble, Jr., with distinction. Marcus Anthony Kiner, Molly Catherine Elaine Kraft,
Stephen McGee, with distinction. Janina Louise Medina, with distinction. Miguel David Medina, with distinction. Cody Austin Moore, with distinction. Rebecca Lynn Nesmith, with distinction. Douglas Anthony Northeim, with distinction. Catherine Leah Sanchez, with distinction. Christopher Stephen Sander, with distinction. Nicole Schoenstein, with distinction. Donicia L. Thompson. Douglas Charles Weitzel, with distinction. Patrick Dayton Wiltz.
Leo Giovanni Acosta Martinez, Charles E. Brass, Jr., Russell Joe Bryan, Marlon Delgadillo, Glendale K. Flavigny, Dre Janae Garcia, Abel N. Gobos, Ryan Hayward, Scott Kenneth Johnson, Sylvester Kelly, Richard Arthur Lee, with distinction.
Dana Louise Maupin. Matthew James Milbauer. Kelly Mohammed. Terrence Scott Newsom. Tracy Trin Nguyen. Christopher Onasofian Oswamkape. Dakota Joe Parker. Jaleesa Rochelle Pete. Zoe Alexandra Phillipson, with distinction. Gary M. Porter. April Lucretia Reed Nias. Daniel Jackson Rice. Matthew Jesse Rodriguez. Anthony S. Rutt. Ivan G. Sturpin. Tony L. Swan, with distinction. James Carl Sweatman. Jairaj Sin J. Thakur. Amy Van Slyke. And Elise Walter, with distinction. Andrea Elizabeth Warner. Nathan Roy White.
Justin M. Badalamento, Amanda Marie Blado, with distinction. Camry Dillard.
Tiffany Renee Marr. Timothy Charles O'Brien, with distinction. Eleanor Marie Rakoski, with distinction. Ethan Nathaniel Stone, with distinction. Chul Ho Yang.
Akin Adediji. Tiara N. Barton. Ryan Lee Blackburn, with distinction. Ryan Adam Blakeney. Garrick L. Christian, with distinction. Christopher Robert Conover. John Cornelius, with distinction. Tracy Lynn Costell. Robert Douglas Jarvis Earl, with distinction. William A. C. Figueroa. Chris Allen Foldsey, with distinction. Zachary Jonathan Geyer, with distinction. Thomas Robert Gladwin, with distinction. Ashley Aline Hansen, with distinction. Andrew K. Harris. Daniel Spencer Holloway, with distinction. Sean M. Johnson. Franklin Steph Kengne Tetsing. Brennan M. Kilchore. Colleen Therese Kinney, with distinction. Gavin Thomas Leach. Joshua Big June Lee.
Stephen Lawrence Magnuson Jr., with distinction. Thomas Ray McDonald, with distinction. Michael Edgar McGee, with distinction. William B. Noland. Anthony O. Nwaje. Christopher Pierce, with distinction. Cheryl L. Perez. Philip D. Powell. Kevin Paul Reigel, with distinction. Matthew J. Roman, with distinction. Joshua S. Shively. Kristen Nicole Stillwell, with distinction. Barry Kenneth Tang, with distinction. Nathan Tesh, with distinction. Josue Tirado, with distinction. Eric George Turner, with distinction. Luis J. Valencia. Johan Andres Viana. John Howland Walters, with distinction. Thomas William Waterman. John W. Weisenhunt, with distinction. Kyle C. Wilkerson, with distinction. Sarah Marie Witt. Aaron Cody Yoakum, with distinction.
Abdul Rahman M. H. Abdul Nasser. Shirley K. Albritton, with distinction. Nicholas V. Ambrose, with distinction. Christopher Anderson. James Richard Anderson. Naveed Rashad Baksh, with distinction. Aaron Baylog. Heather Nicole Bearden, with distinction. William Joseph Baumgartner. Andre Cobbs. Robert Crumley. Calvin Thomas Day. Justin Walter Dixon, Brian Dempsey Dold, Clark Brent Eliason, Alexandra C. Garcia, Elizabeth M. Galnick, with distinction. Benjamin A. Gonzalez, with distinction. Jeffrey Wayne Holmes, with distinction. Lawrence K. Herr, Lauren Elizabeth Jackson, with distinction. Talon T. Larkin, with distinction.
Daniel Philip Arnold Martin, with distinction. Randy Odish. Aaron Popst, with distinction. John Douglas Roberts, Jr., with distinction. Brian E. Robichaud. Michelle Lee Rudney. Tyler Michael Siskowick, with distinction. Ryan Matthew Thomas. Finley Alfred Woods.
Christopher Brannon Abadia, summa cum laude. Mohammed Farhan bin Abdul Rahman, summa cum laude. Aaron Acosta Jimenez. Stephen Bryce Adair, magna cum laude. Brandon K. Adcox, magna cum laude. Carl Kwabena Addy. Clifton Joshua Atkins, summa cum laude. Daniel Agbenu Jr., magna cum laude. James C. Agner III. Daniel Michael Aguirre, magna cum laude. Michael Robert Aguirre, cum laude. Nabil Ajam, cum laude. Walter Alamo. Dante T. Alexander. Mossab Isam Eldin Ahmed Omar Ali. Hector M. Alicea Jr. David Edward Allen, summa cum laude. Carlos Augusto Alzate Betancourt Sr., cum laude. Brant S. Amy, cum laude. Ryan Ammons. Alexander Garant Amstutz. Dale Curtis Anderson, magna cum laude. James Harry Anderson. Jesse O. Anderson. Carola Anselmi, magna cum laude. Dexter Gabriel M. Arceo, cum laude. Laura Arias Garcia. Malmi Mandira Kumari Aski. Arias James Aune, magna cum laude. Jeremy Douglas Avakian, cum laude. Jonathan Ayala, cum laude. Ruben Roberto Ayala Jr., magna cum laude. Hazik bin Azar, magna cum laude. Nia Insiria Binte Azli, magna cum laude. Max Robert Babbage, summa cum laude. Andre Babineau. Antonio Michael Baca, magna cum laude. Edward Leo Bagden Jr. Justin Michael Baker, cum laude. Robert L. Ballard, cum laude. William Charles Banacos, summa cum laude. Trent Banwart. Raymond Gregory Clidoro Barreto, cum laude. James Nilante Bartlett Vanderpooy, cum laude. Michael Thomas Barton. Ryan Lee Baxter, magna cum laude. Cameron Blake Beard. Raymond E. Beasley, summa cum laude. Christopher Becker, cum laude. Aaron David Begin, cum laude. Richard James Becole, summa cum laude. Andres Bello Gonzalez, magna cum laude. Michael Philip Benda, summa cum laude. Ryan James Bennett, summa cum laude. Mohammed Saeed Benzerfa. Audrey Neri Berberena, summa cum laude. Paul Aloysius Godefridas Berkvens, magna cum laude. Tirza M. Berlin, magna cum laude. Ryan Anthony Berryhill. Braden Allen Burving, summa cum laude. Ashley M. Bevis. Jason Richard Bielski. Jason Duncan Bilyeu, summa cum laude. Mohammed Danish Danial bin Mohammed Anwar, magna cum laude. Justin Lee Blakeman, magna cum laude. Bradley Wayne Bland, summa cum laude. Daniel Jean Blanchard, summa cum laude. James Allen Bliss, summa cum laude. John Joseph Bloomer, summa cum laude. Mary Beth Bobula, magna cum laude. Cody B. Bogart, cum laude. Jonathan A. Bonet Galvez, cum laude. Colby David Borgeson, cum laude. Thomas Blake Borze, cum laude. Christopher J. Buffard. Jeffrey E. Bogue, summa cum laude. Anthony Bovo, magna cum laude. Peter Van Bowen, cum laude. Ryan Adam Bowers. James J. Boyce. Corey A. Boyer. Gordon Bradley. Kevin Thomas Bradley. Jonathan David Brannigan, cum laude. Jeffrey W. Bray. Justin Christopher Brialt, cum laude. Ryan Bressler. Justin R. Bright, cum laude. Bo Brinkley. Garrett Blake Brodnansky, summa cum laude. Matthew Brosius, magna cum laude. Christian Edward Brown. Richard Brian Bruce. Christian Shane Buchanan. Sunil Budram, summa cum laude. Brandon Paul Burchell. Matthew Christopher Burgett, summa cum laude. Javier Burgos, magna cum laude. Wendy Burnett. Stephen Marcus Burnham. William Joe Burns, cum laude. Christopher Charles Burr. Donald Kirk Burrell, summa cum laude. Kyle Busalacci, magna cum laude. Caitlin Gentry Bush. Mike Bias, cum laude. Jeremy Anthony Kabatingan. Chad M. Cabine. Caleb Randall Calloway. Michael E. Callahan, cum laude. Brian Kevin Callow. Juan Carlos Camarata, summa cum laude. Christopher A. Camp. Uriel Cantu. Robert Heath Caperton, magna cum laude. Garrett Douglas Carlson. William Brad Carlton, magna cum laude. Joanne G. Carr. Richard Jordan Carr, summa cum laude. Ashley Marie Carroll, summa cum laude. Ryan Michael Carroll, magna cum laude. Zachary Lennon Carson Gilmore, summa cum laude. Justin Danny Carty. Michael W. Cash, cum laude. Nicholas Zeke Flowers Costello. Darla Raquel Castillo. Diego Mejia Castillo, summa cum laude. Anthony Castro, summa cum laude. David Clinton Caudle, magna cum laude. Craig Patrick Calder. Jennifer D. Ceballos. Jovel Chasen, summa cum laude. Amra Chapelle, cum laude. Robert S. Chauncey. Matthew Charian, cum laude. D'Artagnan Windsor Childers. Alexander Herman Christian. Bing Ru Chua, summa cum laude. On Hee Chun, magna cum laude. Derek Adam Church. Samuel Bryce Clark, cum laude. Aaron J. Clayton. Christopher Clayton, cum laude. Greg William Cleveland, magna cum laude. Malcolm Gerald Clinton. Joshua Mark Cliver, magna cum laude. Brian Michael Cloutier, summa cum laude. Dylan O'Connor Cole, summa cum laude. Edwan Blanche Cole Sr. John Alvin Coleman Jr. Tony K. Coleman, magna cum laude. Christopher M. Collins. Adam M. Condon. Aaron A. Connolly, cum laude. Adam John Cooper, magna cum laude. William Clark K. Cooper. Devin Philip Corson. Ronald William Coyne, Jr. Matthew Kenneth Craig. Trevor Scott Kreider. Jasper Cruz. Louis Cruz. Luis Cuevas, magna cum laude. Michael Zombos, magna cum laude. Prashana Kumar D., magna cum laude. Daniel Dean Damerol, magna cum laude. Christina Dahmer, summa cum laude. Casey Collins Davis. James Nathaniel Dean, Jr., magna cum laude. John P. DeSalle, cum laude. Douglas Reed Dellinger. John L. DeLong. Sini Devazia, magna cum laude. Carlos G. Diaz, cum laude. Christopher Cadon Diaz Rose, summa cum laude. Brian O. Diaz Alonso, cum laude. Ryan Christopher Dibble, magna cum laude. D. Blake Dillon, magna cum laude. Christopher Robert DeMaurier. Matthew J. Dine, magna cum laude. Matthew L. Dobbins. Brandon Junho Do, cum laude. Jerome R. Dones, cum laude. Christopher A. Douglas, magna cum laude. Eric Christopher Douglas, magna cum laude. Austin B. Dove, magna cum laude. Robert Alex Dow, summa cum laude. Daniel Gus Downing, summa cum laude. Lian Duan, magna cum laude. Allison Sarche Dunphy, summa cum laude. Dale Wallace Duxbury, summa cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Earls, cum laude. Zachary Eason. Lamad Hercules Easton. Randall Rashawn Edwards, cum laude. Glenn R. Efaw. Liam Aylerman. Mark T. Elsner, magna cum laude. Shane Michael Andreson, magna cum laude. Brent DeFrancia Enriquez. Peter Bradford Erb, summa cum laude. Christopher D. Erickson, summa cum laude. Bradley J. Ermey. Jamie Escobedo. Jose Espola Negron, magna cum laude. Jose Joel Esquivel, cum laude. Stephen Estevez. Gesem Fadl, cum laude. Michael Glenn Farrar. Sergio Feal. Scott Ferdinando. James Robert Ferguson, summa cum laude. Kevin M. Fernandez. Joshua Patrick Featherland, cum laude. Megan Lynn Fielder. Adam John Filer, summa cum laude. Austin Fillion. Jessica L. Fisher. James Richard Fitzpatrick, magna cum laude. Jason Andrew Flickstein. Justin Gabriel Flinner, summa cum laude. Robert Logan Fole. Annabelle Fu-Jun Wei, summa cum laude. Aaron D. Fouquet. Jason Charles Frisch, magna cum laude. Justin Matthew Fritz, summa cum laude. Daniel Robert Frost, summa cum laude. Brandon S. Fullen. Christopher James Fulmer. Mark Julian Furtado, summa cum laude. Daniel E. Fuson, magna cum laude. John Anthony Gaynor, magna cum laude. Joshua Thomas Gallagher. Cameron Lee Gallatin. Mario Gomez. Ryan Gandhi. Damian Osmani Gangadeen, cum laude. Gerald D. Gangaway Jr., cum laude. Alexander Garcia. Alfredo Garcia. Delilah Garcia. Gerardo Garcia. Juan Jose Garcia Galindo, cum laude. Manuel F. Garcia, summa cum laude. Rodolfo Garcia. Juan Jose Garcia Galindo. Derek Gardner Sr. Lucas Anthony Gardona. Kyle Anthony Garger, magna cum laude. Sean D. Garman. John Ryan Garner. Trevor William Gerard, summa cum laude. Athena Daphne Garrettson, magna cum laude. Dustin Scott Gaskins, magna cum laude. Nicholas Robert Gassiot, magna cum laude. Juan A. Gastelum Rios Sr. Brandon Michael Geiger, magna cum laude. Ryan Thomas Gentry, summa cum laude. Michael John Garrity Jr., magna cum laude. Trevor Gibbons, summa cum laude. Taylor James Gibbs, summa cum laude. Justin Colt Gibson. Kristen May Giles Johns, magna cum laude. Colby Preston Gimestad, cum laude. Robert Charles Gipe, magna cum laude. Frank S. Gurgis. Matthew Aaron Glasscock. Jason K. Glatfelter, cum laude. Cedric J. Glenn. Tyler Randall Goki. Jeremy Miles Gomez. Paulo Fonseca Gonzalez, magna cum laude. Jose Omar Gonzalez, cum laude. Jahavan D. Gordon. Jeffrey Michael Gornichek, magna cum laude. Craig William Graves, summa cum laude. Donald Green, cum laude. Zachariah Scott Green. Jeffrey Grenfell, summa cum laude. Daryl Griffin. Landon D. Grinstead, cum laude. Austin Meller Group, cum laude. Kevin Francis Gunther, magna cum laude. Ginger Marie Gass. Michael Bradley Gullett, cum laude. Nathan Henry Gum. Benjamin Jordan Gertner. Stephen Russell Guthrie. Justin E. Hale, cum laude. Andrew Dennis Hall, magna cum laude. Joshua Thomas Hall, magna cum laude. Michael J. Hall, cum laude. Lisa Marie Joy Halmy. Austin Grant Hamilton, cum laude. Dylan Blakely Hansen, summa cum laude. Neil Fleming Hardin, cum laude. Scott R. Harms, magna cum laude. Craig Samuel Harnois. Christina L. Harold, magna cum laude. James Carly Medrick Harp. Joshua Dave Harrell, cum laude. Benjamin Jeffrey Hartman. Jeffrey Scott Hartwich. Patrick D. Havel. Patrick John Hedrick, magna cum laude. Stephen Wayne Helmendaller, cum laude. Jason Henderson, summa cum laude. Jeremy Hung Jie Kong, summa cum laude. Samuel Francis Hennessy, summa cum laude. Joseph Jeffrey Hepler. Eric Hernandez. Erica L. Hickman. Kimberly Kirkpatrick Hicks. Kathleen Eleanor Higgins, magna cum laude. James Heilman. Elise M. Hill. Nicoletta Marie Hill, summa cum laude. Seisha Viviana Hips, cum laude. Man Leong Ho, summa cum laude. Brandon Michael Hogue, magna cum laude. Kenneth Clinton Holden, cum laude. Kenneth Ray Hollingsworth, summa cum laude. Travis James Hood, magna cum laude. Kok K. Hui. Hunter Horton Harmash, magna cum laude. Chad Hove. Fiona Ho Wei Ting, summa cum laude. Charles R. Huckabee III, magna cum laude. Allison Marie Hughes, magna cum laude. Anita Maria Hewson, magna cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Hundley, magna cum laude. John Kanan Hunt, magna cum laude. Eric Michael Huster, cum laude. Kevin James Indahar, magna cum laude. Abhishek David Indukuri. Crystal Lee Inglet, cum laude. Brent Ishler, magna cum laude. Casey Scott Jackson, summa cum laude. John Timothy Jackson, cum laude. Darius James, summa cum laude. John Mark Fitzgerald James, Jr. Maria Camilla Jaramillo, summa cum laude. Timothy Christensen Jaskat, cum laude. Jian Ye Jiang, summa cum laude. Christopher M. Giles. Heidi Carolina Jimenez. Francisco Ismael Jimenez. Cecil J. Johnson, magna cum laude. Christopher William Johnson, magna cum laude. Mark Philip Johnson, summa cum laude. Matthew Sherman Johnson, cum laude. Thomas Andrew Johnson, cum laude. Thomas Edward Johnson, magna cum laude. Nathan Jolly. Benjamin Jones, Jr. Brandon A. Jones. John N. Jordan. Timothy L. Jordan. Kathleen Yvonne Julian, cum laude. Brian F. Calmer, cum laude. Jordan Scott Kane. George K. Cano. Elias Frieds Kaiser. Marcus Cavalunas, magna cum laude. Christine Kavanaugh, cum laude. Carrie Dale Keels. Tucker Warren Kiesling. Jason Paul Kempfer, cum laude. Roshan Kendrick. Adam Leroy Kenner, summa cum laude. Kyung E. Kim. Sean Kim, summa cum laude. Roger Anderson Klein. Peter J. Klemka, summa cum laude. David Vincent Knight, magna cum laude. Jeffrey Bruce Knight. Adam D. Knoll. Joshua L. Coble. Amanda Ko Jia Shin, magna cum laude. Neil Everett John Corzin, summa cum laude. Jing Chi Kao. Kyle Nicholas Crick, cum laude. Stephen Garrett Crum. Ryan David Kufal. Michael J. Kulagowski. Paul Inhelder Cupsis, summa cum laude. Wilfredo N. Laboy. Conrad Joseph Lamb. Caitlin Lauren Lamolinara. Jack R. Langford, summa cum laude. Christopher G. Lapetoda. Benjamin J. Larrabee, summa cum laude. Guy Lynn Larrabee Jr., cum laude. Daniel Lee Mark Larson, magna cum laude. Christopher LaShawn Latimer. Hei Tung Lau, summa cum laude. Derek Craig LaViolette, magna cum laude. Lyndon Peter Lazar. Ashley Leckband, summa cum laude. Carl Legister. Song Myung Lee, magna cum laude. Tyler D. Lee. Benjamin Lee Junze, magna cum laude. Jet Allen Leineke. Andrew P. Lemons, cum laude. Dong Zhuang Liang, summa cum laude. Matthew Jackson Llewellyn, summa cum laude. Lola Tamisha Lewis. Philip James Lewis. Richard E. Lewis, summa cum laude. Isabel Lee Ligon Taylor. Chu Min Lim, summa cum laude. Tat Lee Benedict Lim, cum laude. Wang Jun Lim, summa cum laude. Sean Lim Rong Zhao, magna cum laude. Yarden Israel Leos, magna cum laude. Brandon Levoy Liptrot, magna cum laude. Michael Joseph Little. Mun Sheng Lo, summa cum laude. Christopher Philip Lockhart. Joshua Timothy Lesher, summa cum laude. Jacob Bobby Loftus. Jarrell Logan. Joseph Lo Ju Guan, summa cum laude. William David Long. Adrian A. Lopez. J. Vaughn Lawrence, magna cum laude. Matthew Joel Lozenak. James William Luber, cum laude. Roger Lugo. Andrew Michael Lucondi, cum laude. Alexandra Luna. Justin Noel Luna, cum laude. William Christopher Likens. Jonathan Jeffrey Lines, magna cum laude.
Devon Thomas McKay, summa cum laude. Eliza Rose Madison, summa cum laude. Jun Miyazawa, summa cum laude. Jesse Thomas Mansell, cum laude. David K. Martin. Maria Jacinda Martin. Talon Martinez. David Philip Marvin, magna cum laude. F.E.M. Matthews, cum laude. Gregory S. Malden. Clifton Brian Maltbay, summa cum laude. Christopher Thomas Maxheimer, summa cum laude. Tony Lee Maxwell. Matthew Elijah Oji Mays. Matthew A. Mazaris. Matthew Tyler Mazuka, magna cum laude. Dalton Wade McCall. Bradley William McCann. Jennifer Whitney McCann, magna cum laude. Curtis J. Sean McClelland. Thomas Hunter McDonald. Sean Christopher McDuff, summa cum laude. Ian Kenneth McElrath, summa cum laude. Ryan Michael McGovern, summa cum laude. Chiquita McKenzie. Brian W. McKillop. Brian Keith McLenithan. Dustin Lee McNeely. Matthew S. McNeil. Cole Allen McPherson. Henry Clay McRoberts III. Robert Lee Metters, cum laude. Alexander George Meagert, summa cum laude. Miguel Angel Mena. Najee Mandela Manefi. David Richard Mercado. Dylan Gerhart Meyer. Joshua David Myers, summa cum laude. Stephen Philip Michael, summa cum laude. Robert Mark Mahalik, cum laude. Deror Mida, magna cum laude. David Midyat. Jason M. Millinar. David K. Miller. Kenneth Thomas Miller IV. Kevin Michael Miller, cum laude. Matthew Lloyd Miller, cum laude. David D. Malota. Jensen Miranda, cum laude. Michael Anthony Miranda, magna cum laude. Marina Michelle Mitchell. Juliana Elisa Modesti. Ernesto Modesto. Jonathan M. Modler. Sarah Renee Moley. Elliot Thomas Moore. Scott Brian Moore. Nathan Morales, cum laude. Byron Mauricio Moore, cum laude. Heather Moorcraft, magna cum laude. Christopher Allen Morningstar, cum laude. Kelly W. Morrison, Ryan Parker Mullins, Brock Edward Munal, Gerardo Muniz Rios, cum laude, Jesus Antonio Munoz, Patrick Anthony Murphy, FNU Nabil, magna cum laude, Tennille P. Nakayama, James David Tyler Napier, Gregory J. Nardone, summa cum laude, Brock Devon Newsom, Harrison Ang Rui Fu, summa cum laude, Samson Wambugu Ungugi, magna cum laude, Bobby Nguyen, magna cum laude, Joshua Nichols, Jacob Christopher Niles, cum laude, Greg Allen Nissen, magna cum laude, Brandon Lee Novinario, Juan G. Nunez, James Jacob Nye, Kevin M. O'Connor, summa cum laude, Matthew Clifford O'Daniel, Jessica Renee Ogden, Richard Corbin Oglesby, summa cum laude, Aaron Luke Okermus, Olorunso Sunday Olanrawaju, Oscar Omar Olguin, William Gerald Ong, cum laude, Kenneth Alexander Orozco, summa cum laude, Baruch Mateus Orchiso, cum laude, Jose Eduardo Ortega, cum laude, John Anthony Ortiz, magna cum laude, David Francisco Ortiz Garcia, magna cum laude, Sean P. O'Sullivan, magna cum laude, Dalton Joseph Otero, Nicholas Wayne Otis, Jessica G. Owens, Victoria Alexandra Palmer, Jia Wen Pang, summa cum laude, Philip Panzarella, summa cum laude, Zachary Parent, summa cum laude, Bryden Mackenzie Parker, cum laude, Joshua Stewart Parson, magna cum laude, Wesley J. Patch Jr., magna cum laude, Cameron Payne, Eric D. Pecor, Michael Allen Pesher, magna cum laude, Marcus Paetian Sun, magna cum laude, Narciso Manuel Penate, magna cum laude, Felipe S. Pent, magna cum laude, Michael David Perderas, Reynaldo Perez Santiago, Christopher John Perkins, summa cum laude, Marcus Johann Perkins, Joshua Peterson, magna cum laude, Philip James Petrus III, magna cum laude, Kiapio Ko, Alex D. Picu, magna cum laude, Alejandro Piedrahita, magna cum laude, Robert Eugene Plahitko III. Eric Ronald Pogodzinski. Hao John Po, summa cum laude. Andrew Jonathan Ports, summa cum laude. Justin Powers, cum laude. Gregory Bion Preble. Jason D. Preble. Christopher Presley. Mark Jason Presnell. James A. Presley. Riyad Puchun, cum laude. Jake Michael Pullen, summa cum laude. Alan E. Purcell, magna cum laude. Stefan Pirovsky, cum laude. Mark Peischer. Jeffrey D. Quimby, magna cum laude. Felix Ramos. Tomas Y. Ramos. Kugan Ravindran, cum laude. James Andrew Rayburn, summa cum laude. Nathan Allen Redfern, summa cum laude. Amira Nakisha Binti Redzwan, summa cum laude. Brandon Reed. John Robert Reed, cum laude. Felix P. Ryer. Matthew J. Riley. William Blake Reinhold, magna cum laude. Bradley Wayne Renfro, summa cum laude. James Roger Reynolds. Zachary Rice, summa cum laude. Jesse Lee Ridnour, magna cum laude. Caroline Rincon, magna cum laude. Chad O'Neill Rishi, summa cum laude. Catherine Rivera Portes. Kwame Akil Leonard Robinson. James D. Rockwell, magna cum laude. Richard J. Rogers. Randy Rodriguez. Kenson Wendell Rogers, magna cum laude. Jacob Elijah Romine. Mohammed Ridwan bin Roslan. Cadel Jaquad Ross, magna cum laude. Ryaneel Dexter Ross. Todd J. Ross. Bobby Jean Rawson II. Francis William Royal, summa cum laude. Jose Rene Ruiz, cum laude. Darlene May Griarte Rule. Ryan John Runk, magna cum laude. John Marion Ryan, cum laude. Pedro Salazar. Robert Lightsky Salerno. Mohammed Abdulaziz Salih. Mohammed Adib bin Salim, summa cum laude. Sarah A. Soller, summa cum laude. Jason Edward Sankey, magna cum laude. Julio Tomas Santos, summa cum laude. Gabriel Santos Colon. Rodney E. Sargent, magna cum laude. Brian H. Sassaman, magna cum laude. Amy Michelle Saunders, cum laude. Richard C. Savoy. Corey Thomas Scanlon. Richard Shens, summa cum laude. Austin N. Shearberg, magna cum laude. Nicholas Stephen Schmall, summa cum laude. Caleb Ryan Schneider, summa cum laude. Curtis David Schneider. Gary C. Schuster. Timothy Paul Schwanke, summa cum laude. Brianna L. Scott, cum laude. Francine Scott. Nathaniel Scott, magna cum laude. Patrick Adam Sedlek, cum laude. Xia Jun Si, summa cum laude. Christopher M. Seller, magna cum laude. Alexander Semenov, magna cum laude. Vincent Michael Serafini Findley, summa cum laude. Dalton Allen Shaw, magna cum laude. Michael A. Shepard Jr., summa cum laude. Anis Mohammed Zaki Sherbini, summa cum laude. Ian Gregory Scholes, magna cum laude. Jordan Michael Shope. Joshua Simring, cum laude. Catherine Louisa Serp. David Willius Citizen, magna cum laude. Sylvia Sklenarek. Bo James Konieczny, summa cum laude. Alexander Skupin, summa cum laude. Alexander Philip Sloof, magna cum laude. Stephen Philip Small. Brandon Gerard Smith. Corey J. Smith, summa cum laude. Douglas John Smith, summa cum laude. Edward Price Smith, cum laude. Jason D. Smith, magna cum laude. Matthew Jeremy Smith, magna cum laude. Nathan William Smith, magna cum laude. Xavier Singh Hao Kai, cum laude. Nicholas Singh Jing Han, summa cum laude. Edmund Alexius Selecki III. Roman Anthony Sonoda, magna cum laude. Venkatesh Aravind Eso Pandian, summa cum laude. Jesse Clayton Sparks. Jonathan E. Sprinzel. Jeremy Dean Stacy. Bradley Stallings. Devin Matthew Stamborski. Joseph Stamps, summa cum laude. Kyle Dean Staples, summa cum laude. Zachary David Statz, magna cum laude. Mitchell Lee Steele, summa cum laude. Kyle Stillwell. Jason Ross Stoddard. Nathan David Storm, cum laude. David Warren Stout Jr., magna cum laude. Chris Stout, magna cum laude. James Robert Strand, magna cum laude. Brandon Nathaniel Strotter. Jonathan A. Strickland. Jawad Mohammed Sultan. Matthew James Summers, cum laude. Golda Ann Swartz, cum laude. Mark Peter Sweet. Christian T. Swink. Mirko Sila, magna cum laude. Vanessa Carolyn Tan, summa cum laude. Weenie Tan, summa cum laude. Christopher Robert Tankrell, summa cum laude. Mark L. Tanzitz. Robert David Topier Jr., magna cum laude. Sean Tae Chi Yip, summa cum laude. Caroline Elizabeth Taylor. James Marcus Taylor. Joshua Jared Taylor, cum laude. Casey Taylor. Rui Shanteo, magna cum laude. Cassandra Teo Yuan Heng, magna cum laude. Dylan R. Thomas, cum laude. Shamir Caleb Thomas. Ryan Matthew Thomason. Daniel Ian Thompson, magna cum laude. Nicholas Thornton, cum laude. Shane Tiberi. Jacob David Tidwell. Carlos Eduardo Tobar. Pamela Tu. Veronica Torres. Anthony Nicholas Tortorella, magna cum laude. Christopher Daniel Tracy. Zachary James Trail, magna cum laude. Chad Quang Tran. Kan Kwok Tran, magna cum laude. William Anthony Trish, summa cum laude. Frederick James Trost, summa cum laude. Dakota Trujillo, summa cum laude. Alan M. Turk II, magna cum laude. Michael J. Turner, magna cum laude. John Kevin Del Carmen Upshur, magna cum laude. Carlos Alberto Ure. Charles R. Usina. Trevor Van Bunnen, cum laude. Brandon Lee Van Esch. Ayal Vardy. Nicholas Matthew Varica, magna cum laude. Andy Rafael Vargas, summa cum laude. Roberto Vasquez. Christopher Jack Vaughn, magna cum laude. William Abraham Vaughn Jones. Thomas R. Vining. Joseph W. Votel, cum laude. Hao Min Vu. Rihanuddin VZ Sharif, summa cum laude. Joseph Daniel Wade, magna cum laude. Scott James Walla. Sean Doherty Wallace, cum laude. Carl Wallace II. Jordan Wayne Walma. Zachary Tyler Ward, summa cum laude. Stacy L. Warner, summa cum laude. Sonny D. Warren, cum laude. Stephen Robert Watson, summa cum laude. Jason Edward Waite. Neil Kevin Weatherhead Jr., magna cum laude. Miranda Jeanette Weaver, magna cum laude. Lindsay Marie Webb, summa cum laude. Christopher Lee Weimer. Robert William Welsh, magna cum laude. Randy Lee Werner. Ian Westfall, cum laude. Sean Michael Wagant, magna cum laude. Chad Allen Wetzel, summa cum laude. Jesse Nelson White. Nicholas A. Wilberger, cum laude. Matthew James Wildman. Aaron Matthew Williams, summa cum laude. Corey J. Williams, magna cum laude. Jacob S. Williams, cum laude. Otis Richardo Williams. Royce A. Williams. Scott B. Williams, Jr., magna cum laude. Brandon Wilson, cum laude. Hugh Wilson II, cum laude. Paul A. Wilson. Joshua Ronald Winchell. Robert Brian Wingfield. Demira Arsenio Witherspoon. Nicole Wang Shu Xia, magna cum laude. Brandon R. Wright. John Robert Wright, magna cum laude. Jordan Charles Wright, summa cum laude. Thomas Wright, cum laude. Timothy A. Wright. William Parker Wright. Hannah E. Wynn, summa cum laude. Hae Il Yoon, cum laude. Glenn Lamar York. Trevor Michael Yosick. Adam H. Young. Jason Christopher Young, magna cum laude. Michael James Young III. Erfan Zangane. Michael Anthony Zapatella. Jared M. Zorns, magna cum laude. Pedro Zuniga, cum laude.
Franklin alias Santos. Keith Richard Antonacci, cum laude. Robert E. Batts, magna cum laude. Ariana Melanie Bell, cum laude. Ahmad Shukri bin Abdullah. Roger C. Bowles, summa cum laude. Micah Creek Bradley, cum laude. Funine Bradley, cum laude. Zachary Colin Bradley, magna cum laude. Justin Thomas Cagle, summa cum laude. Christopher Michael Carlson, cum laude. Nicholas Paul Carone, magna cum laude. Cameron Scott Cadasas, cum laude. Benedict Choates. Richard William Coffey, cum laude. Zachary Drew Collins, cum laude. Daniel Jonathan Coulter. Christopher D. Cox, summa cum laude. Zachary Louis Cruz. Tyler Andrew Dent. Omar T. Elgazer. Mohammed Reza Fatolahi. Dean Martin Frederick, Jr., magna cum laude. Kenneth Ernest Gilpin III, cum laude. James Edward Grogan. Richard E. Harrington, cum laude. Demetrius Quinnell Hughes, Sr. Stephen Isbell, summa cum laude. Sammy L. Jackson, Jr. Kyle Bennett Johnson, cum laude. Joshua Ryan Kendrick, magna cum laude. Young Yun Kim. Christopher C. Konoff, magna cum laude. Eric Lee Cron, magna cum laude. Richard P. Kuhn, summa cum laude. Patrick Kunzendorfer. Eric Glenn Larson, magna cum laude. Kevin Lerone Limbrick. Timothy William Livingston, magna cum laude.
Fabian Fitzgerald Martin Sr., magna cum laude. James Wallace Mason Jr. Brandon Lee McEwen, summa cum laude. Kelly T. Mergen, magna cum laude. Zachary Neal Miller, cum laude. Daniel Mark Mogrovejo. Andrew T. Morgan, magna cum laude. Armando Nargi III, magna cum laude. Nathaniel Dwayne Nguyen. Parisa Noshirvani Chami, cum laude. Michael Klaus Osterman, magna cum laude. Ashley B. Owens, magna cum laude. Jung H. Park. Jun Hong Park. Ryan James Parker, magna cum laude. Jonathan Michael Reiser. Thomas William Rising, magna cum laude. Richard Paul Scarborough, summa cum laude. Todd Francis Schneider. Bradley O. Sharp, magna cum laude. Justin Robert Shell. Arthur John Smith, cum laude. Jonah Matthew Steinberg, magna cum laude. Lisa Stone, summa cum laude. Sean Michael Sweeney, magna cum laude. Quentin Tyler Thompson. Jeffrey Topete. Duc Min Tran. Gordon R. Waits, magna cum laude. Stephen Bernard Walker, cum laude. Bradley Jason Warnock, magna cum laude. Denaz Derwin Williams. Eunice Zari, magna cum laude. Crystal Dolores White, cum laude.
Jonathan R. Bryson. Justin James Cole, magna cum laude. Sean Gregory Falkenberg. Jack Anthony Ford Jr., magna cum laude. Chad K. Giesman. Kevin J. Harnett Jr. Daniel Scott Jasinski. Eric Joseph Cornegay, magna cum laude.
Asher Marut. Berlin G. Martinez Rivera, magna cum laude. Joseph Thomas Miranda III, cum laude. Cameron Munsell, cum laude. Andrew Michael Pearson, cum laude. Elizabeth Delgadillo Talbert, cum laude. Valentino Waters, summa cum laude. Alec David Williams.
Philip Allen Bartlett, cum laude. Amanda Boren, cum laude. Ronald Carabeo. Corey Baxter Carlisle. Matthew Allen Corbin. Jared Kraft, magna cum laude. Jacob Kenyon Drowan. Francisco K. Garcia, cum laude. John Vincent Gertman, magna cum laude. Joshua Q. Hensley, magna cum laude. Caleb Gabry Hughes, cum laude. Christopher M. Jordan, cum laude. Robert Wesley Leach, cum laude. Kevin Michael Leopold, cum laude.
Andrew Carlton Mack, cum laude. Derek Scott Morris. Jeremy Michael Sturgis, cum laude. Zachary Paul Sura. Joshua Taylor Spinda, summa cum laude. Christopher Andrew Taylor. Otto Johann Vanacek III, cum laude. Kramer Young.
Alexis Adorno Nunez, summa cum laude. Elise S. Bender, magna cum laude. Dominic F. Bland. Daniel R. Brewer, magna cum laude. Stephen Dante Brown. Charles G. Ciccarelli, summa cum laude. David Edward Crockett IV, magna cum laude. Anthony D. Crutch. Alvin David Felder Jr. Terry D. Gilfillan, Brian Keith Greenhaw, Bryce B. Hamilton, magna cum laude. Mark Anthony Jolly, cum laude. Wanda F. Jordan, Amber Lee Coriati,
Robert David Margolis, Aaron Michael Petriniak, magna cum laude. Devon Pinniger, cum laude. Scott Lewis Russell, Jason Soto, magna cum laude. Randy Troy Thompson, Daniel Curry Walther,
Syed Minaj Ali, summa cum laude. Brian John Den Uden, magna cum laude. Morgan Ashley Foss, summa cum laude. John A. Lang,
Michael R. Whitfield, cum laude. Joseph A. Shermoy Williams, magna cum laude.
Colby Donald Bostwick, Zachary Lewis Cashwell, summa cum laude. Gerard Daniel Herbert, magna cum laude. Eric Bernard Johnson Jr., Christopher King, magna cum laude. Alexander Lee, magna cum laude. Jeremy Lee Leonard, magna cum laude.
Blaine Mayer, cum laude.
Anthony Anam Agingu, Aldous Evan Albores, Brian E. Alcorn, Jesse B. Allen, Curtis Keone Amalato, Johnny Arbeles, Marcos Arellano, Matthew Luis Arrieta, Ismael Erwin Arocha, Gideon Samuel Ayerte, Adrian Rald Avendano, Garrett Michael Barrow, Melina Bauman, Lori Bell, Eric W. Bernard, Justin Michael Billy, Stephen Mark Birchfield, Jonathan Boring, David Ritchie Bowles, William Robert Bristol, Mark Ray Brooks, Esteban Francisco Calero, Antonio Carbajal Jr., Benito Ivan Carrasco, Christopher Anthony Castillo, Ryan Odell Castillo, Kevin Charles Cates, Alejandra Cerda, David H. Cha, John W. Chalfont, Yaju Chang, Kyle M. Colley, Antonio B. Cook, Christopher Lee Cooper, Johnny Jesus Cruz Jr., Tony Cuevas, Harrison Artemis Curry, Jad Davis, Lisa Dayrit, Courtney DeHule, Fernando Anthony Del Cid IV, Derek Stephen DeMann, Robert John Dennison, Carl Cameron Dixon, James Houston Dumbold, Noah A. Jiwachinski, Isaiah Chase Elliott, Nicholas Epperson, Bobby Gilbert Esquivel, Daniel Christopher Udy, Robert Allen Evans, William Matthew Farrell, Luke William Fechner, Bruno Ferreira, Adam Fetz, Guillermo Flores, Brian C. Fraley, Jacob Traugut Fritz, Ryan Christopher Galler, Brian Gammon, Christopher John William Gardner, Danielle Marie Garner, John Michael Gaspardo, Jeffrey Brandon Geringer, Anthony Franz Ginocchio, Garvin P. George, John Gilbert, Nicholas Michael Giovanetti, Elizabeth G. Gonzalez, James Adriel Gwim Gonzalez, Paul Goodenough, William Harrison Goolsby, Benjamin A. Groudon, Stephen Mark Griffiths, Raul Alberto Guardado, Kushal Gurung, Tyler Lee Hain, Andrew McGregor Harriman, Aaron Lee Hasselbauer, Jesse Joe Heckert, Leonard L. Hendrickson, Hector Emmanuel Hernandez, Luis Alberto Hernandez, Tyler Paul Hervey, Curtis L. Hinson III, Russell A. Holly, Brandon Quintez Hudson, Peter Jacobson, Dylan Thomas Jacoby, Nicholas Don Jacoby, Joseph Derek Johnston, Avion Marche Jones, Jonathan Andrew Carroll, William Loy Kiefer, Mitchell Charles Colleen, William Patrick Kerwin, Tyler Craig Knabb, Arturo Landor Santamaria, Abel Cisneros Levine, David Levine, Jonathan F. Lewis, Jacob Linder, Mitchell Lindgren, Eric Sean Yaguno, Adam Lucas, John Michael Lyons,
Alexander Madera Matos, Paisley Majewski, Bester T. Majoni, Eric Stephen Malfavon, Kendall Martinborough, Ronald Martin, Keegan Martindale Hernandez, Eric A. Matthews, Caleb Matthews, Carl R. McCullough III, Israel Medina, Matthew D. Medlin, Christine Lynn Meisner, Kyle Daniel Meecook, Aaron Joshua Monsale, Anthony Moreno, Joshua O. Myers Sr., Albert Navarro, Dustin R. Neno, Sean Newton, David Andrew Norman, Edward Allen Orta, Ryan T. Ott, Adam Gregory Parker, Carl James Parker, Nicodale Charles Pasqua, Vincent E. Patterson Jr., Richard J. Payne, James C. Phillips, Richard Phillips, Cecil L. Pittman, Kyle Lewis Plumstead, David Michael Ramos, Carl Anthony Rasmussen, Jeffrey Joseph Ray, Bernadette Margaret Rhodes, Travis William Ristvet, Eric Rivera, Mohammed Robel, Spencer J. Roberts, Corey Paul Robinson, Jason Rochefort, Jeffrey Cameron Rohr, Alonso Ramiro Ruiz, Nicola Isabella Ruiz, Talib U. Semple, James Terry Sanford, Ronald J. Sawyer II, Brian J. Schrader, Kendra Inga Shadrach, James Martin Historia Siochi, Devin Alexander Sitter, William Robert Sloan, Amber Nicole Soder, Paul Scott Spildener Orjak, Alfred Ezekiel Springer, James Alden Starnader, Devin Adam Starr, Vincent Matthew Stearns, Rufy Jane Stephen, Walton Stone, Katie Renee Sutton, Zachary P. Sikora, Christopher Talent, Jason Wesley Taylor, James E. Thompson, Whitney Ann Thorne, Hao Tian, Julio Torres Jr., Austin Lee Vaden, Alexander Valenzuela, Joseph Riley Vance, Todd Richard Vander Bogart, Travis P. Vinson, Rebecca Visser, Richard Roland Votel, Samuel Grayson Ward, Taylor Elizabeth Ward, Devin T. Watson, Parker M. White, Tyler Garrett White, Ronald Edward Whiteley III, Eric Michael Whitlow, Jadoa M. Williams, Nolan Wilson, Dean Winklereed, Christopher Richard Wood, Matthew Woodwick, James Ryan Wynn, Julia Caroline Zach, Johann Gabriel Zarate, Samuel Hudson Zimmer, Brian Lynn Zischke Sr.,
Oscar Allen Acevedo, Robert Sheldon Anderson, Adriana Patricia Barella, William Clifton Barton, Scott Jeremy Bauer, Robert Edward Bright, Barry Butler, Christopher Wayne Byers, Dustin Matthew Chapman, Brian Richard Clay, Jesse Matthew Coble, Miles Eugene Cooper, Joshua Dotz, Charles R. Faircloth III, Kyle Aquila Forbes, Michael Robert Forehand, Kylie Folk, Jason D. Garrison, Dwight Carlos Gower, Matthew Nicholas Graziano, Eric R. Hansen, Stephen Hurley Sr., Kosuke Iida, Craig Curtis Inglis, Christopher Anthony Kampatak, Raed K. Khatib, Brian Leone, Gregory Lynn Litz,
Robert O. Machung, Charles Andrew Mayer, Isaac Lester McLaughlin, David R. Miller Jr., Richard Dale Mills III, Christopher Molina, Lyle Thomas James Montgomery, Eric Umwara, Christopher Sean Peak, Brian Stephen Pence, James Christopher Riley, Justin Michael Rojas, Joselito Roldan Rivera, Joseph Carl Sams, Tyler J. Shield, Christopher Paul Skinner, Carlos Enrique Sosa, David Strothide, Jake Danilo Thomas, Jomane Thompson, Jeffrey A. Van Camp Jr., Brian C. Witkowski, Zachary Paul Wood, Ryan Curtis Zierman, Ivan Josue Rivera,
Tevis Orlando Bailey, Sebastian Gabriel Carrera Moncada, Ryan Joseph Cronin, Joaquin de los Santos, Jesse Lee Hall, Victor Jose Hernandez Cruz, Nathaniel Fletcher Hill,
Joseph Mena, Dylan Mentor, Eric Dean Nickerson, Daniel James Normand, Andrew Pareja, Sheridan Colum Ubai Perry, Jonathan Patrick Pollock, Kayvon Marquise Smith, Travis Daniel Stieg, Mingi Tabon, Joseph Michael Tapia Rubio, Jeremy Stephen Wagner, Vincent R. Zilka.
This concludes the presentation of graduate and undergraduate degrees. Dr. Watritt will now introduce the class to Trustee Phil Elliott for the conferral of degrees.
Trustee Elliott, it is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Aeronautic degrees as recommended by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you, as appropriate, the Associate in Science degree, the Bachelor of Science degree, and the Master of Science degree, with all of the rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities appertaining thereunto. Congratulations. You are now graduates of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. We wish you great success in your future endeavors, and we encourage you to keep in touch with us. You are forever an Eagle.
In the invocation, we talked about gratitude. And now here I want to talk about pride. The benediction will be about pride, the pride that you probably should be feeling. You've worked really hard. You've done something that is an extraordinary achievement. There are many people who could never have completed the course of study. Perhaps there's some people you began with that weren't able to do it. You've been able to do it. So I hope you feel proud. You've done great work. And I hope that as you think back upon this ceremony and about your time here, you'll take that pride and it'll help you take that next step in professional responsibility. Because the pride you have is a pride of knowledge, of learning, and wisdom. And with those come responsibility. You know things that a lot of other people don't know. So please, continue to use your wisdom and your knowledge, continue to help people, to serve others, to make a difference. Continue to go out and be a blessing, and let those who say thank you to you, those who express their gratitude, may they bless you as you bless them. And let all God's children say, Amen. Thank you.
Eagles gather near, we lift our voices loud and clear, soaring high, O alma mater, threads of blue and gold. United we soar in vast open skies. Embry-Riddle we hail thee, great memories we'll hold. So here's to you, old ERAU, alma mater true. We pledge in love and harmony our loyalty to you. Singing thy praise, remembering the days, coast to coast around the world, our bond forever true. Embracing our dreams with pride far and wide. Embry-Riddle we hail thee, great memories we'll hold. So here's to you, old ERAU, alma mater true. We pledge in love and harmony our loyalty